Then which type of soil water is not available to plant?
Hygroscopic.
Gravitational and hydroscopic.
Okay, hygroscopic and gravitational water is not, gravitational water is not available to the plant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason behind this? This we'll see later on. First, what are the importance of soil water? First, you see what happens. Generally, soil water dissolves their salt that is present in the soil. Okay. When the salt is dissolved in the water, it makes a soil solution. Okay. And which is a the best and the most important medium to supply the nutrient to the plant is soil solution.
Your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking.
Sir.
Yeah, Amal, are you not getting my voice?
I'm getting the voice, sir.
It's good. You check your network, Gautam.
Sir, my network is perfect, sir.
Everyone is getting my voice.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gautam, now I think it's your time to check your network.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then see, now let us talk about the importance of soil water. When you talk about the importance, first, just I have told you that soil water dissolves salt present in the soil, and that's soil solution. And soil solution serves as an important medium for the nutrient uptake by the plant. Okay, first thing is that, and second thing is that the yield of the crop. If you see the yield of the crop, that is mainly dependent on the amount of water available. See, if you talk about the other deficiency things, more than that, the important is water. Even if you talk the deficiency of nutrient, all these you talk, then more than that, the important is the available, what is the moisture content of the soil. That is more important than them. Okay, because see, if the nutrients is available and water is not available, then nearly they have lost this soil. From the soil, plant cannot absorb the nutrient. Because if there is no water, how there will be formation of soil solution? It cannot be formed. Then there cannot absorb the nutrients from this. After that, even water itself acts as a soil nutrients. If you see the chemical composition formula of water, what is the chemical formula of water?
H2O.
H2O. And you may not know it, you may not study this hydrogen and oxygen in your essential elements, but this is also needed by the plant. Okay, then you can say that water itself acts as a nutrient. After that, if it while regulating the soil temperature, it is useful. Sometimes what happens, the temperature of the soil due to this sunlight, it increases. Right? That may be harmful if some crops are there which is at the germination stage. Then temperature will highly affect its germination percentage. Then what happens? In regulating the soil temperature also it is useful. After that, if you talk about the soil forming process or weathering, I've told you that no chemical weathering is possible without the presence of water. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After that, you know the process of decomposition. In that, microbes is to work on the soil and this organic matter. And see, if microbes have to work or have to decompose the organic matter, it means the metabolic activity of microbes should not stop. And if you want to do not stop the metabolic activity of microbes, then for doing the metabolic activity, microbes also needed water. Okay. And after that, this thing, you know, only that is the principal constituent of plant, this water. If you see, then majority of the plant portion is made up of water. Okay. After that, even if you talk about the photosynthesis, is photosynthesis possible without the water?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. No, sir.
When the earth was primitive, before what was used in presence of this water? Before water was not used. Before what was used?
Sir, H2S.
H2S. And that was the reason that before the earth was not oxygenic. Earth became oxygenic after the process of when the oxygenic photosynthesis started. And oxygenic photosynthesis started from where it has started? Blue algae or cyanobacteria, what?
Blue-green.
Anyone? First
Sir,
oxygenic photosynthesis started from which organism?
Bacteria.
Yeah, that my option was only blue-green algae and cyanobacteria.
Blue-green
Sir,
algae.
both are same, na, sir.
Yes, right.
Both are
Both are
same.
same. Okay. Now next, if you talk about the retention of water by the soil, see why soil used to retain the water. The first thing, see, I was asking repeatedly one question: what do you know about soil moisture? Nearly only 1 or 2, 3 students have replied, but they have given the meaning. Sir, what is soil moisture? But I was not asking that what is the meaning of soil moisture. Yes, it's very simple. The water present in the soil, that is soil moisture. That is good. I did not ask that. I asked you the means what is the concept that I was asking you. If I'll ask you what is soil, you will say mitti. That is the Hindi of soil. That is not soil. Okay. Then I'm saying that how soil is to retain the water. First, you understand that soil. If you remember the composition of the soil, then you must be that this soil poses colloidal property. Poses or not? Soil have colloidal particles. If the soil have colloidal particles, means it will pose colloidal property. Other things you have seen that there is a aggregation in the soil. Okay, did you notice when we are studying the soil structure? There you have studied there was natural aggregation, there was artificial aggregation. What do you call to the natural aggregation of soil particles?
Soil.
Fed.
Fits.
And
Fits.
the aggregation which is by artificial means
Clouds.
Clouds.
what?
Sir, natural means fits, sir.
Yeah, naturally fed and artificially colored. Now what happens?
Cloud.
First you have seen that soil possesses the colloidal property. There is a natural, there is aggregation qualities in soil. After that, what happens? And that there are micropores in the macro as well as micropores in the soil. See the all the forces which is responsible for retaining the water in the soil after the drainage has stopped. Why drainage is stopped? Means you will see if there is if continuously drainage is taking place in the soil, it means drainage water is not available to plant. Na, first let the drainage complete. If the drainage is completed and after that the moisture or the water which is in the present in the plant, from that portion plant will absorb the water. Not all the water will absorb, but from that portion this plant is going to absorb the water. Okay, now this what are the different forces due to which the water is retained? First I told you regarding the colloidal particles. Did you heard the name
Adhesion,
cohesion
cohesion.
and adhesion forces?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, these are the two basic forces responsible for water retention. Okay, one is what? When like molecules get attracted towards like, means cohesion. Water to water, soil to soil, that is cohesion. When you talk about the soil to water, then that will be adhesion. One is this.
Adhesion.
Okay, by this force water molecules are held tightly held firmly on the soil particles. Water is held. Second is surface tension. You must be studied in 11th class in physics, surface tension. And third is polarity or dipole moment. See, suppose there is a two charge, Q plus or Q minus, that is two different type of charge. One is cation, other is anion, or you can say one is positive and another is negative. Then there exists a force of attraction between them, which is like, see, now this force will be directly proportional to the magnitude of charge and inversely proportional to the square of the radius, means distance between them. If you see, this is electrostatic force. Then polarity means what? A polar substance means that should have different charges, one plus, one negative. And water molecules have both the charges or not?
Yes, sir.
Water molecules have both the charges. If you do break it, it comes OH plus, OH minus and H plus. It has both the charges. And you must know that colloidal particles is negatively charged. If you remember my first lecture, then I shown you the nature of colloidal particles. There I told you that negatively charged, responsible for CEC, colloidal in nature, all these things was taught there. Okay.
Yes,
then see what happens, the positive part of the water molecules. Listen carefully to this line. The positive part of the water molecules get attached firmly to the negative part of the colloidal particles. Then what happens? The water molecules got attached to the soil particles, that colloidal particles. Now, if the positive part of the water is attached to the negative part of the colloidal particles, then the negative part of the water is free. Are you getting my point? I said you
Sir.
water have both the charges, plus and then minus. And a colloidal particle have only negative charge. Now the positive part of the water has got attached to the negative part of colloids.
Column.
Then the negative part of the water is free. They are free at one end. Then at to
Yes,
that
sir.
end, another soil particles positive, this another water molecules will get attached to that negative part through its positive end. And like this, a layer will be formed. Okay, if this layer is formed, means there is an orientation between the soil particle, soil colloids and the water. There will be proper orientation. But as the thickness or as the layer will get deposited, as the thickness of the layer will get increasing, then you can say that there at last a time will come or a point will come when there will be less orientation between the water molecules and the colloidal substance, colloidal particles, and the water molecules will get detached from there. It will not be firmly attached to the colloidal particles. That water molecules will be detached. And that water molecules is, which type of water is that? Can anyone?
Yeah, Krishna.
Huh? No one. That is only capillary water. That is only capillary water. Capillary water is free to move, free to absorb by the plant. Just don't remember the pressure, at what pressure capillary is, water is available, at what pressure is permanent wilting point. That is okay in point of view if your straight question is asked. If the question is little bit twisted, you will be caught. Then these are the three forces through which the water was held in the soil. Now, is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone? Any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Amal, Reddy, Mamta,
No, sir.
Divya, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, what? Okay, next, what are the factors that what are the factors which affect soil water? That are, let us discuss. See, I am before only I told you that if someone is waiting for the PPT, then your wait time will be little delay, because before only I said you first I'll explain the concept, and within 5 to 10 minutes I'll finish the PPT. You know. There you will not get enough time that, oh, sir will lead the PPT and then explain. That you are not going to get. In just I am explaining the fact, and that also I am explaining you serially, not randomly. I am picking up any topic and explaining you. I am explaining you in a sequence. Okay. And if, see, don't mind, but if you don't understand soil water today, no, I'm not saying that you will not understand in future also. If you don't understand soil water today, then if you are taking the next attempt to understand the soil water, that will be only your wastage of time, because you are giving another time for that same topic. Just give your little concentration, you will understand the topic very easily. Now tell me, till here, you all have understood nicely or not? Till here.
Yes,
Sir.
Fast,
Yes,
that
sir.
don't take that much time.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Okay. Then if you talk about the factors which are affecting the soil water, first is soil texture. Then now you will give the answer. Finer soil texture will have lesser pore. Is it right?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. More.
More
Okay.
space.
Then it means if
More
there is more pore space if there is more pore space, it means there is more surface area. It means the finer texture soil should have more water holding capacity. Yeah, more water retaining capacity.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
More
next.
retaining side.
Yeah,
Yes,
if
sir.
the structure, the soil which is good, have good porous structure, have means that should have more water.
No, sir.
Who said no, sir?
Yes, sir.
If if soil is well aggregated, it is good porous structure. It has good porous structure. Then it should have retained more water, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Organic. If I'm saying if there is a high organic matter, then there will be more water retention capacity. Is it right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
if there is a if there is a means a cold temperature or low temperature, then there will be higher moisture content in the soil.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but yeah, if there is a more density of the soil, there will be more moisture content.
No, sir.
Yes, right.
No, sir.
Okay, if there is more density, then there will be lesser moisture content. Okay,
No,
if
sir.
there is more salt content in the soil, then there will be more water available to the plant.
Yes.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Yes, no, because there is salt content, water availability of in the soil will reduce.
Yes.
This type of clay particles will have more water retention. 2:1 type or 1:1 type.
So 2:1.
Yes. Okay, 2:1 type means we are talking about kaolinite or montmorillonite.
Montmorillonite.
In which soil montmorillonite is dominant?
Clay soil, sir. Black soil.
If you
Clay
talk-
soil, black soil.
if you talk about the different types of soil in India, like alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, in which soil?
Black. Black soil.
Very good.
Black soil.
Okay. Now next is if I am saying that if there is a more depth of the soil, then there will be more water available to the plant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you relate this depth of the soil with the water table?
Yes.
Yeah, if you are going into the depth, yeah, obviously the water content is going to increase. Okay, next is see, I'll not give you say you have to not go in depth in this. Just you have to remember about this. I'll show you about the free energy. You know, water moves from higher free energy to lower free energy. You must have a study regarding this. Then if you talk about the potential that is present in the water, there are different type of potential like metric potential, osmotic potential, gravitational. And osmotic force is there, metric force is there, and after gravitational force is there, and by combination of all these factors, the free energy is generated, and water moves from higher free energy to lower free energy. This you all know. Okay, now if you say that how this is measured, if you say that how you can measure the soil moisture, how you can measure the soil moisture?
Tensiometer.
Tensiometer.
Yeah, that is instrument. But other thing is that if you talk about have you studied about the gravitational method and electrical conductivity method?
Sir.
This is very time-taking process, this gravitational method. And in that way, soil sample is taken and it is dried in oven at 105 degrees Celsius. I want to make you mind about 105 degrees Celsius. Once this question was asked, when you talk about dry oven temperature, do you know what is dry oven temperature? What is the temperature in dry oven? Oven dry temperature 105 degrees Celsius, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is one method. That is gravitational method, and other method is electrical conductivity method. That method is depend upon the change in electrical conductivity with the soil moisture. When the soil moisture is changing, then the electrical conductivity also changes in the soil. In this electrical conductivity method, we use gypsum block, and that gypsum block has two electrodes, and both the electrodes are kept at separate places. The important thing in this is that you have to remember in this gypsum block is used. More, I'm not going to explain anything in this. Okay. And after that, if you see that classification of soil water, if you classify the soil water, if you see, it is a major constituent of plant protoplasm. It contains 80 to 95%. After that, it helps in movement of nutrients, regulates the physical and biological activities in the soil. All these things I have explained to you. After that, see, anyone can see what is this? Anyone? In our environment, the soil water systems. Soil water system in our environment. In this diagram, you can see all the process that is taking place in our environment, through which water enters into the soil and through which the water drains out of the soil. You can see This all you know that what happens. Okay, what are the process through which water enters into soil? And one is precipitation. After that, no one. The
Or
diagram.
infiltration and then percolation.
Yeah.
Is it the
Yes, percolation. And it is lost through evaporation. After that, runoff. All these things are the process through which water is lost from the soil. This you can understand very well. No need to explain here. Now, this I have explained you. What are the factors affecting soil water? Okay. This is explained. Texture,
Yes, sir.
structure, organic matter, density, temperature, salt content, all these are explained. Depth of the soil, type of clay. Is it right? This I'll explain now. This forces is explained. See, this question was asked in NABARD 2020 mains. See what happens, that the moisture content indicates the amount of water present in the soil. See, now it is commonly expressed as the amount of water, that is mm of water depth, present in depth of 1 meter of soil. This question was asked in NABARD 2020 mains. Means what is the meaning of this? If the when an amount of water of 150 mm is present in a depth of 1 meter of soil, the soil moisture content 150 mm per meter. See, means then you'll feel that no, this is you'll feel that what type of question was asked. Okay, but they will ask you, Mrs. which thing you will think that is not important. They will ask you question from there only. The meaning is simple. You all know this meaning, but in exam hall you'll think a little bit different. Okay, tell me the fact. Just see on the screen. How many of you understood the question first? Simple layer. If you take the soil depth as a 1 meter, and in that 1 mm is water is present, that means soil moisture content is 150 mm per meter. Answer was also given in the question only. But what happens
Yes, sir.
if this type of question in the examination hall, you become scientist. You start thinking extra. If the color of blood is red, then it is asked in the AIMS or NEET or anywhere, that will be red only. Don't change the color of blood. Whoever, either you are writing in the semester examination or you are answering in the live classes or you are answering in the competitive examination, everywhere the value is the color of blood is red only. Human blood. Don't now bring a snake, all these. Next, this I'll explain right now. Types of soil water potential. Just I told you metric potential, gravitational potential, and osmotic potential. That is of no use for us now. Classification of soil water. There is two type of classification. One is physical classification and other is biological classification. When you talk about the physical classification, then in that first there is a gravitational water. Now, anyone, what is gravitational water? Okay, which pore of the soil is occupied by the gravitational water? Micropore or macropore?
Macropore.
Okay, means gravitational water occupies the macropore. It means it moves under the gravity also, because you have seen in the percolation, during the percolation you have seen the water moves under the to the groundwater in percolation. It means the water in gravitational water is that water that is occupied by the macropore and moves under the force of gravity, right?
Yes, sir.
That water in excess of field capacity is termed as gravitational water. You know gravitational water is okay. Is this water available to the plant?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why it is not available to the plant? Because it is present in the larger pore. This is present in the larger pore, and it reduces the soil aeration also. then it is very much necessary for that it should be removed from the soil for the optimum growth of plant. And generally this type of soil, generally what happens at gravitational state, soil moisture tension is 0 or less than, it is 0 or less than 1/3 bar. At least this thing to you all have learned. Yeah, you should speak this to at least. Okay. Do you understand gravitational water? Now, what are the factors on which gravitational water depends? First is texture. Okay. Means texture plays a great role in this in movement of gravitational water. See, the movement of water or the flow of water is directly proportional to the size of the particles. If the particles is bigger, the more rapid will be the flow or the movement of water in the soil. Because the larger size, because if the particle is larger, it means the size of the pore is also greater. And if the size of the pore is greater, water will percolate more easily and more rapidly. And that's why you can see that it is more in sandy soil than in clay soil. Okay. Next is a structure. Structure also affects the gravitational water. Talk about the plateau structure, then movement of gravitational water is not that much in plateau structure. That is slow. But if granular and crumbly structure, that is to help gravitational water movement. Now here you may get confused, because as you know here about the granular and crumbly structure. See, if it is helping, think this way. Just I told you that gravitational water need to be removed from the soil. Okay, because it is reducing the soil aeration. Soil aeration, it is reducing. It means we have to remove the gravitational water from the soil. And just I said you that in this, the movement of gravitational water is slow in case of plateau structure. Then that is not good, because now I'm telling you that granular and crumbly structure, it helps. It means granular and crumbly structure is more perfect because it is helping in the movement of the gravitational water. Don't get confused that plateau will be better, because sir, the movement of gravitational water is slow there. Because we need to remove the gravitational water rather than holding the gravitational water. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Be fast.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this was gravitational water. Now next is capillary water. That was held in macropore, and this is held in micropore. Anyone can tell me the size of micropore?
Less than
Less than
0.06
6
mm.
0.06 mm.
0.06 mm.
Okay, and it lies between, capillary water lies between the field coefficient and hygroscopic coefficient. Can anyone tell me in bar pressure?
Minus
10,000
1 by
bar.
1/3.
I can tell minus 1/3 to minus 31 bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From where sound is coming?
Yes, sir. Minus 31 bar.
Yep. Okay. Then I think all the water that is present in the capillary water, all the water that comes under the capillary water is available to the plant, right?
Yes, sir.
How many of you say that all the water that is available?
No, sir. Some part of capillary water available.
To 15 bars only.
Okay, now
to 15 bars, sir.
from this we'll see, we'll start again on from this capillary water. Now I'm telling you that apart from this, for you all, because I did not teach you any current affairs, right? No, yeah, I think 1 or 2 days I've taken and taught you current affairs.
Sir, only the some schemes. Soil at that. And
so I'm telling you, beyond time, because see, I get very for this thing missing. I get little time. That's why you can understand that there is some little bit problem of time. But after the soil or during the soil, or maybe that after the soil water, I'll take your classes of agriculture census, or a forest report, livestock census, 1 lecture of livestock census, 1 lecture of forest census, okay, and 1 lecture of agriculture census. and the last lecture will be, one more lecture will be of the agriculture budget. Okay. These 4 classes.
Okay, sir.
After soil water, they means one day I'll take the classes of soil, and next day I'll take take the lecture of the current affairs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You know, that today we have completed, I think nearly 40% of the soil water. Next 60% I'll cover tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyone, if you have any doubt, can ask. I think from somewhere some sound is coming. Please try to avoid this. Because if there is a disturbance, there is nothing my loss. I'll take 30 to 40-minute class. I'll leave it. But if my voice is not going to you, then you will have the problem. From where this voice is coming, either that person is not listening to me, either that person is not knowing that he or she has unmuted. Wow, very good. Now only one is from Mamta side. Now only you, that girl is only miss a. Okay, anyway, let me mute her. Okay. Okay, then see, and tomorrow. From where? You are also there in that. Miss, the voice was coming from your side. Okay, then tomorrow we'll finish the soil water topic. Okay, and after that, in next class, we'll start forest report or livestock census or agriculture census. Any one topic we'll take. Okay, but just now also there are many topics to be covered in the soil science. After 2-3 days, your class duration will be extended. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Okay, sir.